A flawless, breathtakingly handsome man turned to his brand new bride, reached up to his face, and plucked out his own eyes. "Thank you, my friend," he whispered to the shadows. These were only borrowed. Where his eyes had been, empty, bottomless black sockets stared back. The beautiful woman screamed, but it was too late. The forest was already swallowing her whole. How did the most desired, sought-after girl in the village end up trapped in a horrific land of bones? This is the chilling story of Amara, a girl who chose superficial beauty over character, a skull who borrowed perfection to deceive, and the rejected, rough-handed suitor who had to walk into hell to pull her out. If you've ever ignored a red flag because you were blinded by what you wanted, hit that like button right now. This is about to get dark. Before the horror, there was Amara. In a prosperous village where tradition ran deep, 26-year-old Amara was a masterpiece. Her skin was smooth as polished mahogany. Her smile could make the oldest men remember their youth. She sold cloth in the market, not because she had to, but because she craved the whispers of envy and the hunger in men's eyes. Her mother, Mama Amara, saw the danger. One evening over dinner, she warned her, "My daughter, beauty is like the harmattan wind. It dazzles, and then it passes. What remains is character." Amara just laughed, tossing her braids. "Mama, when I marry, it will be to a man as perfect as I am." "Perfection doesn't exist, Amara." Her mother's face darkened. "Only spirits pretend to be perfect, and they do it to trap the foolish." "Then I'll marry a spirit," Amara joked. She meant it as a jest. The forest heard it as an invitation. Suitors came like rain. First was Ikechukwu, or Ike, a 28-year-old farmer with strong arms and a kind heart. Since they were children, Ike had braved the deep, forbidden parts of the forest, just to bring Amara the sweetest mangoes. Now, he brought his finest harvest. "Amara," Ike said softly, standing in her compound. "I don't have gold, but I have land that feeds families. I have a heart that sees who you are inside." Amara looked at his sun-darkened skin, his slightly bent posture from hard labor, and the dirt under his fingernails. "Your hands are too rough," she said coldly. "Your back is bent. I deserve better than a farmer, Ike." Pain flickered in his eyes, but he just nodded. "I hope you find what you're looking for. But if you ever need me, I'll be here." Amara rejected 5 more men that month. The chief's son wasn't tall enough. A wealthy trader's teeth weren't straight enough. Her father demanded, "Do you want perfection? It doesn't exist." "Then I'll wait until it does," Amara snapped. 3 weeks later, on market day, perfection arrived. A stranger floated into the village. He was tall, dressed in glowing white linen, with immaculate skin and a devastating smile. He walked directly to Amara's stall. "I have traveled far." His voice was pure honey and music. "Searching for the most beautiful woman in the land. I have found her," Amara gasped. But behind her, her mother gripped her arm, trembling. "Amara, something is wrong." His eyes, they don't look. "Mama, stop embarrassing me," Amara hissed. Nearby, a dog whimpered and fled. An old woman made a protective sign in the dirt. But Amara saw nothing but a god. The stranger called himself Eze, the king. For 3 days, he showered Amara with gold beads, rare perfumes, and perfect poetry. On the 3rd night, he proposed. "Come to my village tomorrow. My mother is too old to travel, but she eagerly awaits us." Amara enthusiastically said yes. That night, her mother begged her on her knees to wait, but Amara mocked her. "You're just jealous, because I found what you said didn't exist." Terrified, Mama Amara ran to Ike's farm at dawn. "Ike, I know she humiliated you, but she is leaving with a stranger. Something is deeply wrong. Please, watch over her." Ike's jaw tightened. He had every reason to say no, but looking at her mother's terror, he nodded. "I'll watch from a distance." The next morning, as Amara and Eze stepped into the dark canopy of the forest, Ike waited 3 heartbeats and followed. At first, the forest was paradise, but an hour in, the light died. The trees pressed closer, twisting like clawed fingers. Suddenly, a hollow, scraping voice echoed from a gnarled tree. "Brother, you are back? Return what you borrowed." Amara froze. "Who said that?" "Keep walking," Eze said, but his voice was losing its melody. He turned to the tree and smiled. "Ah, yes. I nearly forgot." He reached up, plucked out his eyes, and tossed them into a hole in the trunk. "Thank you, my friend." Amara screamed, trying to wrench her hand away, but Eze's grip was now freezing ice and crushing iron. "We have an agreement, my wife. There is no running now." Next, a deep rumble came from a massive boulder. "Friend, my nose. I need it back." Eze reached up and ripped his nose off like a mask, leaving a gaping, bloody void. Amara could barely breathe, her voice dying in her throat. A spirit woman stepped from the shadows. "My skin, husband. Return it before sunset." Eze nodded and began to peel. His smooth skin slid off like old clothes, revealing stark white bone underneath. Piece by piece, body part by body part, he returned his debts. His legs went to one spirit, his arms to another. Finally, all that remained was a floating, fleshless skull, its jaw clicking as it spoke. "Almost home, my wife." Amara's legs collapsed. The skull dragged her through the dirt, like a sack of grain, into the clearing of his village. A hellscape of huts made of rib cages and paths lined with human bones. "This is our home forever," the skull hissed. Amara curled into a ball, weeping. Her vanity had handed her over to the dead. Days bled into hours. Amara starved, staring at the bone walls, wishing for a death that wouldn't come. Then, a human voice shattered the silence. "Amara." She looked up. Standing in the doorway was Ike. "You're a dream," she whispered. "Go away." "I'm real," Ike said, kneeling beside her. His rough, calloused hands, the hands she had mocked, gently lifted hers. "And I'm taking you home." "Why?" she sobbed. "I was cruel to you. I rejected you." "This isn't about what you did to me," Ike said steadily. "This is about who you are underneath the pride. You cannot take what is mine." A voice roared. The skull appeared, surrounded by a swirling horde of angry spirits. Ike stood tall, a mortal man facing the underworld. "She belongs to the living." The skull's jaw clattered with laughter. "She chose me. She wanted perfection." "You are not perfection," Ike shouted back. "You are a lie made of stolen parts. I am imperfect, but I am real." The laughter stopped. "Then a challenge, mortal," the skull hissed. "Answer my riddle, and she goes free. Fail, and your bones join my walls." The entire village of spirits went dead silent. The skull asked, "What is more valuable? A perfect diamond that cuts the hand that holds it, or a rough stone that builds a home?" Amara held her breath. Ike looked down at his own hands, scarred, calloused, bent from years of honest labor. He looked up into the empty eye sockets of the skull. "The stone," Ike said firmly, "because perfection that harms is worthless. But the strength that builds, even when it is scarred and imperfect, that is what makes life possible." The skull unleashed a scream so agonizing, it shattered the bone huts. Truth burns the spirits of deception. A glowing path ripped through the dark forest. "Run," Ike yelled, grabbing Amara. The forest went wild. Thorns tore at them. Spirits clawed at their heels. Amara stumbled, her legs giving out, but Ike scooped her up, throwing her over his back. The bent back she had laughed at was now the only thing carrying her to freedom. They burst through the tree line, collapsing onto the sunny riverbank of their village. Amara was alive, but she was permanently changed. Her hair had turned gray at the temples, and her eyes bore the heavy wisdom of someone who had looked into hell. That night, in her mother's compound, Amara confessed everything to the village. She turned to Ike, who sat quietly in the corner. "I judged you by your rough hands, but those hands pulled me from death," she wept. "I wanted a fake perfection, and I found hell. You offered me real love, and I threw it away." Ike stood up, walked over to her, and did something completely unexpected. He took a step back. "Amara, I didn't save you so you would owe me a debt," he said softly. "I saved you because I believe people can change. When you are healed, if you want to start again, I'll be here. But only if you can love me for who I am. Not just because I rescued you." And he walked out into the night. Months passed. Amara grew quiet, humble, and wise. She worked the market, helped her mother, and warned the young girls of the village about the trap of vanity. And every day, she watched Ike from afar. She saw his integrity, his kindness, his quiet strength. She fell deeply in love, not out of gratitude, but for his soul. One morning, she walked out to his farm, knelt in the dirt beside him, and whispered, "I'm ready. Not because you saved me, but because I finally see you." Ike looked at her, saw the truth in her eyes, and smiled. "Then let's start again. Properly." He held out his rough, calloused hand. She took it, feeling safer than she ever had in her life. Their wedding was simple. No gold, no vanity. Just two real people. When they joined hands, Amara told the village, "These are the most beautiful hands in the world." To this day, mothers tell this story to their daughters. Beauty fades, and perfection is a trap. But character and kindness build a life that lasts. In the comments below, tell me, what is one quality you used to overlook in people, but now realize is the most important? Don't forget to subscribe for more African folk tales that remind us that the best things in life are rarely perfect. They're just real. Until next time, don't chase borrowed beauty. Choose character. Thank you for watching.